With Oprah Winfrey. They talked about a lot of things, mostly the last 8 years. And Michelle Obama offered advice to the woman who will hold that next title.
My offer to Melania was, you really don't know what told me, so I'm not new in this going high thing. I mean, I'm modeling I'm modeling what was done for me by the Bushes.
Right.
And Laura Bush was nothing but gracious and helpful, and her team was right there for my team all throughout this entire 8-year process.
And your team is doing the same.
We will do whatever they need to help them succeed. So that's one of the things I said to Melania. When you get to a place when you can digest all this and you have questions, because you don't have questions the day after the election. It's just sort of like, you're looking around the house and it's like, well, what do you want to know? And it's like, I don't know what I should know, and I knew that. So my door is open, and that was really the nature of the meeting.
To discuss the interview, we have author of Hidden Power, Presidential Marriages That Shaped History, Kati Martin, and cultural critic and writer Michaela Angela Davis. Great to have you ladies with us.
Thank you.
So, I mean, in addition to the proud tradition in this country of the peaceful transfer of power, there's also this graceful transfer of power that first ladies do among each other. It's really comforting to hear Michelle Obama talk about it.
I mean, the role of First Lady is unique to America. It combines kind of a monarchical role, maybe because we have some nostalgia for the monarch we overthrew, as well as a working role. So they live and work in the same house, and there's no other country that has such a strong and defined role. And Michelle Obama now enters that history, and she is carving out a role for herself that I have to say reaches into Eleanor Roosevelt territory, because she has declared an independent voice, independent of her husband, and not as a political voice, but as a moral voice. And people really look to her as a role model beyond the African American community. She was obviously history making as the first African American First Lady, but now it's particularly young people who see her as a model for parenting, a model for a modern marriage, and for speaking out for decency and kind of a fearless voice that we haven't seen coming out of the White House for a very long time.
Well, even though it harkens back to Eleanor Roosevelt, let's say that this we see in Michelle Obama the natural extension and evolution of a team of equals. Of course, you have your President of the United States, but that as First Lady, she's more, and there's a dovetailing of morality and politics with what Michelle Obama talks about. One question is her advice best served to Melania Trump or to Ivanka Trump? If it's true about the role that she's going to have in the White House. We've seen that before also. It was usually in the absence of having a First Lady. But to her.
I think whenever Michelle speaks, she is speaking to a lot of women, right? And I think that she's very... she's brilliant in how she phrases things. So when she's saying, we go high when they go low, when she says, this is what we do, we model what we want to see, I think she was speaking to everyone. If you want a smart First Lady, you have to be one. So I think when she was speaking about talking to Ivanka, she was talking to all of us. And throughout this interview, when she said, for instance, when they were talking about being an angry black woman, and she said, you don't know me, I heard, you don't know black women in this way. You don't know us. So these tropes, these narrow narratives are what we're here to shatter, right?
We have that. So let's play that moment and get you to talk about it. Watch this.
When you were labeled that angry black woman, was that one of the things that knocked you back a bit?
That was one of those things that you just sort of think, dang, you don't even know me. I mean, you just sort of feel like, wow, where'd that come from? And that's the first blowback, because you think, wow, that is so not me. But then you sort of think, well, this isn't about me. This is about the person or the people who write it. I mean, that's just the truth.
And you know, Kati, I mean, you're just on the receiving end of whatever people think, whatever their opinions are as First Lady, and it's hard. You can't very well get on Twitter and give them a tongue lashing, you know, you take it.
No, but the thing that's lost in this discussion is that the First Lady plays a dual role, internal and external. And traditionally, the most successful presidential marriages have been the ones where the president has an open line to his wife, because the presidency is such a bubble inside a bubble and so cut off from the people. But the First Lady still has more mobility, more exposure, and the successful ones have an honest, straight relationship with their husbands. And Michelle Obama clearly has that, and one wonders about their successors, because Melania, who paid Mrs. Obama the greatest of all compliments by
taking her
yes, but she has no sense of American history, which is unique in our history, to have a First Lady without any ties to American culture, politics, history. So this is going to be a very steep learning curve.
That was a really profound moment, because when you think about the collective imagination, the word first and lady are rarely associated with black women. And Michelle Obama not only gives you a new imagination for what a black woman of power and agency and dignity and grace and intelligence can be, she is arguably going to be one of the most memorable First Ladies. The first on so many levels. And, you know, when Coretta Scott King said that women will be the soul of this country, like, she's the soul with soul, right? So we're going to remember her in many areas, not just this first one, but she was cool, and under pressure she modeled how to be a patriot, how to put country first. When people were coming for you and giving you ideas like that New Yorker cover, that was horrific. And the way that she shape-shifted through that was something that women and girls can look to forever. Like, they're going to come for you, and you know you can, like, do it with style.
Michaela, Kati, thanks so much. Great to talk to both of you about all of this.
Let's talk about another woman who certainly earned great distinction. She's on Jeopardy and on some winning streak, but the woman on your screen right now is not alive to appreciate it. Next, we're going to be joined by the longtime boyfriend of the late game show champ to ask what would she have thought about this remarkable run. Next.